What's up, family? You are now tuned into the All In Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Jenkins, and today is episode 16. And today we are talking about being grateful, having an attitude of gratitude. And man, this is something that I really think we as men can sometimes maybe struggle with, not even realizing it because we're just so focused on doing what we're doing. And this was on my mind for maybe the past 2-3 weeks, very faintly at first, but when I started thinking a bit more about certain things, I was like, man, like there are times, sometimes I get too close to, or I lean towards comparison a bit too much, or not being grateful enough for certain things, even certain moments or seasons of my life where I'm like, man, I should have been way more grateful, especially because I had the thing, or I came into a season where I prayed for something, and it was time for me to receive that, and the Lord opened up that door and he blessed me. And then by the time I got there, I got comfortable and I got ungrateful. And it can happen. It can happen all the time. And I say this, that we definitely can struggle with this sometimes being a man, because we're constantly thinking about where we going, what we doing, what's next, what's the next goal, what's the next achievement, what's the next accomplishment, how do we do bigger, how do we do better, how do we keep pushing the goalposts, like how can we go, especially living in a society where we're taught to, never be satisfied, but have an attitude of gratitude. And it's like we lean more to that never be satisfied side, especially being human beings, right? We're flawed people. And so we continuously have like this almost sometimes insatiable desire for just more, and we're never fulfilled. Even the Bible says that, like the lust, am I saying it correctly? The flesh is never fulfilled. Like the flesh is never satisfied. Like it wants more, it wants more money, more cars, more this, more that. And it's not to say that we can't be ambitious, but also be grateful. Right? It's not to say that those two things can't coexist, but I think at times we fight with both sides. Like I want to be grateful, but I don't want to get too like lenient or lazy or just not really push myself. And, I want to be at the point where I'm never satisfied, but I want to be at least be grateful for what I have. I want to see what's around me because, and I'm not even necessarily saying like there has to be like this super like deep in between. I believe that we can definitely be grateful, but still, like I said, be ambitious, right? We don't have to pull so much of that side of never be satisfied. It's never enough. It's like, at what point is something enough? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Like, at what point is it enough? Right? Not being lazy, not saying like, oh, you just quit and give up, but at what point is it enough? Like some of us don't need all that we think we need. Some people want to be millionaires and billionaires, but for what? What is your reason? Ask yourself, why do I want this? Is it because I see people talking about it on social media? This person said he just cracked $1 million. Do you want financial freedom? Figure out what that looks like for you. What if you're so good with money that you don't need $1 million? That if your salary was $500,000, 300,000, 750,000, 800,000, that you can do so well with that money that you don't even need to focus on, I need to be a billionaire, I need to be a billionaire, I need this, I need that. Because oftentimes we see it even with some people, and this is not to make it seem like when you get something like $1 billion or $1 million, oh, it's nothing, it's whatever. No, it definitely enhances your life. But I think a lot of times we focus on getting these goals. And then when we get there, we realize like, man, life still kind of feels the same. I have more, I can do more, I have more freedom. But in some ways, there are still certain things and desires that I have that are not fulfilled, which need to be filled with God. That void you have of wanting to know purpose and wanting more and wanting to be fully grateful for the things around you and really want to take life for what it is and live a full life comes from God. Because God created you, so he knows what you want deep down inside. He knows the things that needs to be fulfilled. He also knows the things that we need to do away with this, because this keeps you in a place where you're never satisfied to the point where you just need more and more and more, and you'll drive yourself into a wall, right? I don't know why scriptures are leaving me right now, but I think there was a scripture, if I'm not mistaken, I think even in Ecclesiastes, it talks about money Talks about as soon as we get money, is as fast as it flies away with wings, right? And it's almost like chasing the wind. It's like, when is enough enough, right? Figure out what are your goals. Figure out what do you want to do for yourself, for your family, how far you want to go, what things do you want to achieve, right? And if there's more room or more space for you to do more, do that. But sometimes we get so stuck in this place of wanting to do more and go higher because we feel like it's going to feed who we are and our identity. If I can have all of these accomplishments, if I can do all of these things, then I'm this person, then I'll become great. But it's like, there's so many people who have done great things, right? It's not to say you shouldn't aim to become one of those people, because I want to become one of those people that do things that matter for people, that pushes the next generation and all those things. But if you're actively chasing these goals and trying to get this next milestone and get that achievement, and it's like, okay, when is it enough? Like, enough in the sense of it's not at the forefront of your mind of like, I don't get this, then I'm not worth anything, or I got to get this or else I'm not that good. I'm not. Why? I remember at my old job, it was a job that I remember after I was gone that, man, this is exactly what I had been praying for God to bless me with for years, right? Maybe a few years, but there were some things that I had to do first, right? I had to learn how to budget better, be a better steward over my money and different things like that. And that's what the Lord wanted me to do. And once I started doing that, he opened the door for me to move forward and go down that lane that he wanted me to go down. And I was happy at first. You know, I was always on time. I was always early. I was doing so well. With the quickness, they wanted to elevate my status. They started talking about, you know, being maybe a supervisor, manager, things like that. But I wasn't really focused on it. And then sooner or later, after some time winded down and time passed, I got ungrateful. I started feeling untitled. Like, you know, this is regular. Like, this is what I do. Like, this is my job, is whatever. And also, there were even coworkers around me that, you know, they will always blow steam, get mad, and vent, and to just be talking about the job. But I didn't pay them no mind. I was new. I wanted to work. I wanted to get my money. I was just so focused. And sooner or later, because I got comfortable, I got used to it, you know, some of the things that they would say will kind of be in my mind. And I'm like, yeah, man, I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was saying. Like, why we got to do all this? Why? And I started complaining too, forgetting I'm standing in the spot. I have retrieved the very thing that I was praying for years, the thing that I wanted for years. But I got so comfortable, I didn't remember that I need to be grateful for what I have, because I wasn't always here, right? Even the thought of like upgrading our lives when it comes to a house or a car, or whatever these things are, right? It's like, it's almost like a cycle, right? You get a car and you're happy you got that car. It might be a pretty nice car, but then as you're driving, you get used to it, whether it's a few weeks, whether it's a few months, whatever it might be. And you're driving and you see somebody else with a different car. And you're like, man, that's a nice car. Then you see another car, you're like, man, that's a nice car. Then it starts taking your mind off of what you have and how grateful you are to have what you have. Oh, okay, this is a nice Toyota, you know, upgraded, got all that stuff. All right. You know, well, you know, it's this nice Honda that I want to get. I think I want that in like 2 years. So you're already thinking about what you want while you're in what you're in. And there's nothing wrong with that, to have goals or think about what you want in the future. But you can't get your mind off of leaving where you're at. And you just kind of got there, right? And then you say, okay, boom, that 2 years passed, I got this car. Then you see somebody else, you're like, man, now I want a Benz. All right, I want a Benz. You know, they got they got this color, they got the interior. Okay, I want the Benz. All right. So all you could think about after just getting this next car is this Benz that you want to go for, right? And so now you're not even thinking about how much you like your car as time passed. You just like, okay, you get that Benz. Now, as soon as you're in a Benz, you see something else. And it's just a perpetual cycle of constantly like comparing ourselves and what we have and what we don't have and what we want to do. Now, again, I'm not saying that we shouldn't want milestones. I'm not saying you can't be like, you know what? I think after this lease is up, or after the 4 or 5 years with this car, I think I'm going to sell or whatever and get this car. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. I'm saying we need to realize that we quickly go from praying for things, wanting something, and would be grateful to be in a certain position. But then when we get there, we get that thing. We get so used to it. We get so entitled that we just get tired of it and we're ready for the next thing. And we cannot enjoy the life that we have right now. Now, I know some of us are in certain predicaments in our life where we're like, yo, this is a little crazy right now. I'm waiting for my next ticket to get out of this situation for a door to open up. Like, it's bad. I can understand that. And I'm not saying don't be grateful at all. You know, it's good to be grateful for the things that you do have, for the opportunities that are on the way, for the small and little things in life that make life feel grand, even when things aren't the best. But we have to be able to be grateful for what we have in the moment. Like, when you're in your car, yeah, it might not be the best tip-top car in shape, but you got a car. You got a car, it does this, it does that. It might not be all the most fancy upgrades, or even if you have the fancy upgraded car, stop thinking about the car that's so much fancier than yours that you can't enjoy what you have. Treat your car, treat your apartment, treat your house, enjoy what you have. Enjoy your family. Stop wishing something was always so different, right? Now, again, if things are crazy, things are bad, of course you're going to wish and wait for things to change. But enjoy the moment. Be grateful. Have an attitude of gratitude for where you are, what you have, what God is doing in your life. Ask the Lord, Father, help me to be more grateful. Allow me to see the things from the perspective that I don't usually see them. Because life is flying by so fast that we don't even realize that we're always constantly trying to get to the next thing. And we forget how good it was to be in that moment or that season of our life. And we no longer really cherish the moments that we have, right? Like, what in your life right now are you not being grateful for? Whether it be a house, that job, that car, that family, the family members that you have, the spouse. Are you taking granted for the time that you spend with your kids, or the attention that your kids want from you, or the business you're building, or the projects you're doing? Like, be grateful for even the small steps that you're taking. Like, we get so caught up into just the next thing that we forget, like, I prayed to at least make it this far. We don't even celebrate the small things because they're just like, that's whatever. And some of us are different. We grew up in different ways. We had different subcultures. Our house had different parents, different grandparents, whoever. And like somebody like me, I wasn't really taught to celebrate small things or, little changes or different things like that. But being around different friends and people who grew up different and things like that, those people inspired me. Like, nah, Mike, like, this is a milestone. Like, celebrate this. It might be small, but it's a change. It's a sign of your growth. It's a sign of where you're going, what you're doing, and your dedication. This is an emblem to remember as you move forward, where you started, where the vision was, like how this is going to change, how this is going to grow. Think about where you were before, what that was like, and just what wasn't working out in your favor, right? It's like somebody didn't have an apartment. They got an apartment. It's small, but at least you got an apartment now, or the apartment that you wanted, or if you wanted to relocate and be in a different state or a different city, whatever that might be. But we just really have to take the time to just slow down, because life is flying, it's passing us by. And like, I still remember when I was in high school, I still remember my first job. I still remember a job I was working where I was barely making any money. And, not to say I was so happy about that, but these memories of my life that have just flown. And we don't realize it because we're just always moving and going to the next thing and pushing and not focus on, God, you've blessed me with what I have right now. Like, okay, like, man, I got this. I'm a part of this rewards member thing. Man, okay, I can afford this couch or this luxury set or whatever the case may be. But dang, that one costs $10,000. I want to get that one day. It's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Be like, you know what? When I get there, I'm going to get that. But right now, this couch is $3,000 to $5,000. And I'm going to enjoy this couch. And I really love my couch. Love my couch down. I'm going to enjoy this couch. I'm going to make memories on this couch. I'm going to have some friends over. We're going to chill out on this couch. Like, I'm going to make my home a place to remember. So by the time I get there, I can enjoy that. And so, in short, I think my thing would be for us to set goals, be ambitious, have milestones, want to get to a certain place. But even while you're taking steps to get to a certain place, enjoy the right now. Enjoy where you are. Enjoy the building. Enjoy the day by day. Sometimes I have to reframe my mind. Like, you know what? Today's a Monday. Today's a Friday, whatever. Like, work is going to be something else. Let me kind of reframe my mind and remember, like, let me just be grateful. This is going to be a day, but let me take my time. Let me go through this. Let me find some ways to work through the frustrations and the annoyances that I'm going through and just be grateful for now, because I know what is coming is going to be better. And I'm going to be so grateful for that. But I want to be grateful for where I am now and what's happening now. Let me focus on spending more time with my friends, spending more quality time, making memories, because soon this season is going to be up. And everybody in my life is seasonal, whether that's a season for my whole life, a few years, or, you know, whatever that might look like. And so I want us to remember, like, listen, if you're like, man, I got this BMW right now, but I'm really shooting for that BMW. Be grateful for what you have right now. Be excited for what's to come, but you can be grateful and be like, I'm happy with my car. You know, some of you might be like, I'm not happy. I want a different car. I'm always giving disclaimers because I don't want to, like, I can't, my words are kind of losing me right now, but I don't want to like undermine the human experience, because it's very real to be in positions where it's like, yo, like, I'm grateful, but this is a little messy right now. Like, this is crazy. Like, my car could die on me any second, right? Now, looking back in the future, you might be like, man, those were the days, or like, that was some crazy times. But I'm not saying like your car could break down tomorrow, but just be grateful that, you know, you got a broken down car. No. Be grateful for the opportunities you have, enjoying the things you have. But if you have to make some adjustments or make some movements so that you can put yourself in a better position because it's getting that bad, do that. But what I'm simply saying is, your car is working fine. It might not be the one that you want to upgrade to yet, or you're like, whoa, next year is the year I'm getting a car, or next year is the year I'm getting a bigger apartment, or next year is the year we're going to move into a bigger house. Be grateful, because those are the things that you once wanted. They maybe have came with some issues or technical difficulties at time, but life will always throw punches. But be grateful, have an attitude of gratitude, and remember that, like, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'm just thinking about how much, you know, God loves us and wants us to be at rest and be at peace. And that's why it's so important to even be in God's presence and spend time with him and be in his word, because the Lord will remind you to slow down, take some rest, calm down, be at ease. You don't need to fulfill duties and milestones and all of these goals to feel like somebody or feel like something in life. You can come to me, find rest. Your achievement is the fact that you are my son, right? And it's not to say, again, you undermine the human experience, because in this life you need money, you need improvements to go higher, to make more and do things like that. But just remember that you are not your bank account, you are not your job. These are the things that you have in this physical world right now, and cool. But think about the things that you want to be grateful for. When you get off work, you go home, you go see your daughter, you go see your wife, you see your kids. Yeah, you might have to wake up early and it's going to be time where you're not getting that much time, but you have a family you could go home to that loves you and that adores you and can't wait for you to come home. And the things that you're doing it for them. And there's a sense of fulfillment in that. Even if you have your mother or your father, or you're going through a rough patch, or you have some friends, be grateful for the people that are in your life right now. Don't take them for granted. Don't overlook this time. Don't allow yourself to be running and running and running. Be like, where did the time go? I didn't properly assess the time I had, or be grateful for what I had in the moment that I had it. And I think that is key to our life here on earth. Because, you know, when I just sit back and I think myself, I just had to pull myself back like, Mike, you need to be a little bit more grateful for some things in your life. You need to take a seat and just relax and calm down. Whatever you have at the moment, enjoy that. That's yours. You know, you don't have to keep up with every year or every change or every, thing that's new, hot, popping, whatever. But it's like, yo, this is mine and I'm enjoying mine. I just want to enjoy my life. I want to have fun in my life. Tomorrow is not promised, right? Sometimes it's like, well, tomorrow's not promised. Listen, I'm just, because in my mind, I just think about some things in my mind, just the reality of some things. It's like, well, tomorrow not promised. I won't have to worry about the stress of yesterday or the next day. But like tomorrow is not promised, or just even your condition that you're in right now. A lot of times it takes things to happen for us to slow down and be grateful. Like, you lose the taste in your mouth for the rest of your life. Your body is paralyzed. God forbid this happens to any of us, but you lose a limb, you lose a leg, you lose a finger, you lose a hand. Something happens with your shoulder, your elbow dislocated. Something happened that changes your life for the rest of your life. And then all you can think about was, man, I wish I would have properly focused and been grateful for those moments that I had with my elbow, with my arm. It's just like when you get sick or something happens to you, your throat gets sore, you're throwing up, you're coughing, your taste is out your mouth, you got a headache. What do you think about? All you can think about is how you took for granted the fact that you don't have a headache all day. You took for granted how, like, before you got sick, your throat was clear, wasn't hurting, and you could speak without your voice being raspy. Like, we think about life and how good it was. Even, pay attention, even in those very small moments before this drastic or somewhat just whatever type of change happened to make us realize, like, yo, I should have just been grateful for those times, because it was just so regular to you. It's regular for me to talk and think without a headache all day, or my throat hurting, or me not limping or something like that. But as soon as it happens, it's like, dang, I remember when I wasn't limping. God forbid, that ain't gonna be my story. But that's it for today, fellas. Have an attitude of gratitude. You can be ambitious. You can want to knock down some goals. You can be a person who is a high achiever. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't let that be your identity. But remember, be grateful for where you are. Be grateful for being on your journey. And be grateful because time passed. So with that being said, I'm your host, Michael Jenkins. And until next time, peace.